Captain Jiwan stared at the screen in front of her. The numbers did not make sense. Something was sending a signal from deep space, and it was getting stronger every hour. She had been running the monitoring station for 3 years, but nothing like this had ever happened before. Minho, come look at this, she called to the man working at the language computers. Dr. Minho was the best at understanding new languages. If anyone could figure out what this signal meant, it would be him. Minho walked over and looked at the screen. His eyes went wide. This is not from any human ship. The pattern is too different. Someone else is out there, and they are trying to talk to us. Commander Yuna heard them talking and came over. She was in charge of keeping the station safe. How long until we know what they are saying? She asked. Give me 6 hours, Minho said. Maybe less if I am lucky. Jiwan sent a message to Earth right away. This was too important to wait. The message would take 2 hours to reach Luna Command, where Admiral Daiho was in charge of all human space forces. While they waited, more signals came in. Each one was stronger than the last. Whatever was sending them was getting closer to human space. Yuna started checking all the weapons on the station. She had a bad feeling about this. After 5 hours, Minho ran back to them. His face was pale. I got most of it translated. You need to hear this right now. He played the message on the main screen. A voice spoke in perfect human language, but it sounded cold and proud. Greetings to the species of the third planet. We are the Villani Empire. We have ruled this part of space for 3,000 years. We have brought peace and order to 847 worlds. The message continued. Your world shows promise. We offer you a place in our great empire. You will give us 60% of everything you make. Your strongest people will join our armies. In return, we will protect you from other dangers in space. Jiwan felt sick. They want to take over Earth. The alien voice kept talking. We know this may seem hard to accept. All new species feel this way, but you will learn to be grateful. We have never had a species refuse our generous offer. Minho's hands were shaking as he worked on the rest of the translation. There is more, he said. We will arrive at your world in 30 of your day cycles. Please prepare your leaders for the ceremony of joining. Do not try to fight us. We have weapons that can destroy your entire planet. Make the smart choice, the message ended. The 3 humans stared at each other in silence. How many ships did they say they had? Yuna asked. Minho checked his notes. 200 capital ships. Each one is bigger than our largest space station. Jiwan sent an emergency message to Admiral Daiho on Luna. She marked it as the highest priority. Then she started gathering every piece of information they had about the alien signal. 2 hours later, Admiral Daiho's response came back. Return to Earth immediately. Bring all data. We are calling an emergency meeting. The trip back to Earth took 18 hours. When they arrived at Luna Command, Admiral Daiho was waiting for them. He was a tall man with gray hair and serious eyes. Many other important people were there too. Show us everything, the Admiral said. Minho played the alien message again. Then he showed them what he had learned about the Villani language and technology. The room was quiet when he finished. How long do we have? Asked General Sunmi. She was in charge of Earth's defense forces. 28 days until they arrive, Jiwan answered. President Jian spoke for the first time. What do we know about their previous conquests? Dr. Kyungsu, who studied alien intelligence, stepped forward. I have been looking at their signal patterns. They seem very confident. The way they talk suggests they have never lost a battle. They said 847 worlds, Admiral Daiho noted. That is a lot of experience. The room fell silent again. Everyone was thinking the same thing. How could Earth fight against such a powerful enemy? What are our options? President Jian asked. We could try to negotiate, suggested one advisor. Maybe give them what they want. 60% of everything we make. General Sunmi shook her head. That would destroy our civilization. We could run, said another advisor. Load our ships and find a new home. Where would we go? Admiral Daiho asked. They control this whole area of space. Dr. Wu Jin, Earth's best military engineer, raised his hand. What if we fight? Several people laughed, but not in a happy way. Fight with what? Someone asked. We have 50 ships. They have 200. Numbers are not everything, Admiral Daiho said slowly. We have something they do not expect. What is that? President Jian asked. We know how to fight other humans. We have been doing it for thousands of years. These aliens have been winning easy battles for 3,000 years. They might not know what real war looks like. Commander Yuna nodded. Our weapons are designed to fight against human tactics. Humans are smart and dangerous. These aliens might not be ready for that. The Admiral stood up. I think we should send them a message. Let them know we are not interested in their offer. What should we tell them? President Jian asked. Admiral Daiho thought for a moment. Something simple. Something honest. 2 hours later, Earth's response was ready. Admiral Daiho recorded it himself. The message was short and clear. To the Vellani Empire, we have received your offer. Humanity politely declines. We suggest you find other targets. We are not suitable for conquest. Please consider this our only warning. The message was sent into space toward the alien fleet. It would reach them in 3 days. Do you think they will listen? President Jian asked. Admiral Daiho shook his head. No, they have been winning for 3,000 years. They will think we are just scared. They will come anyway. Then we better get ready, General Sunmi said. As the meeting ended, Jiwan thought about the alien message. The Vellani sounded so sure of themselves. They had never met a species that said no to them. They had no idea what humans were capable of when they were fighting for their home. The aliens had been warned. What happened next would be their own fault. Over the next few days, reports came in from all over human space. Ships were moving toward Earth. Weapons were being prepared. Everyone was getting ready for the fight that was coming. 3 days after Earth sent its message, they got a response from the Vellani. It was short and angry. Your refusal is noted but not accepted. We will arrive as planned. Prepare for conquest. Resistance will only make your suffering worse. Admiral Daiho read the message aloud to his staff. Then he looked up with a grim smile. Well, we tried to warn them. Now let's show them what humans do when someone threatens their home. General Sunmi stood in the war room looking at the biggest map she had ever seen. The map showed every human ship, every space station, and every weapon in the solar system. Red dots marked where the aliens would probably attack first. There were too many red dots. How many ships can we get ready in time? She asked Captain Taehyung, who was in charge of the main battle fleet. 43 ships that can really fight, he answered. Maybe 20 more that can help but are not very strong. Dr. Kyung-soo walked over with a data pad in his hands. I have been studying the alien signals we intercepted. The news is not good. He showed them what he had learned. The Vellani have done this exact same thing to every world they have conquered. First, they send the surrender message. If the planet says no, they attack with overwhelming force. What does overwhelming force mean? General Sunmi asked. They destroy everything in space first. Then they bomb the planet from orbit until the people surrender. After that, they land troops and take over completely. Captain Taehyung's wife, Dr. Sora, looked up from her computer. She was working on modifications to their weapons. How long does this usually take them? Between 6 hours and 3 days, Dr. Kyung-soo said. No planet has ever held out longer than that. The room was quiet for a moment. Everyone was thinking about fighting an enemy that had never lost. We need more information, General Sunmi decided. Hajun, I want you to take your stealth ships and go watch them. Captain Hajun nodded. He was the best pilot they had for dangerous missions. How close do you want me to get? Close enough to count their ships and see their weapons, but not so close that they catch you. Captain Hajun left with 3 small fast ships that were very hard to see on sensors. His mission was simple but dangerous. Get close to the alien fleet and report back what he saw. While Hajun was gone, the rest of Earth's military worked day and night. Engineer Minji was in charge of the orbital defense platforms around Earth. She had been designing new weapons for 2 years, but now she had to build them in 3 weeks. Can we make the shield stronger? Dr. Wujin asked her. The shields are not the problem, Minji answered. The problem is that our weapons are too weak. The aliens have armor that has never been broken. What if we do not try to break their armor? Dr. Sora suggested. What if we make them break themselves? This was an interesting idea. Dr. Sora was working on something she called Project Last Stand. Instead of building bigger guns, she was building smarter traps. President Ji-yeon visited the military headquarters every day. She wanted to know if there was any chance they could win. The answers were always honest but not encouraging. We are not going to win a normal space battle, Admiral Daiho told her. They have better ships and more experience. But we might not have to fight a normal space battle. What do you mean? The president asked. The Vellani expect us to line up our ships and fight them directly. That is how every other species has fought them. But humans have been fighting each other for thousands of years. We know many different ways to fight. Admiral Deho showed her the defense plan. We are not going to meet them in open space. We are going to make them come to us. Every step they take toward Earth will cost them ships. After 5 days, Captain Hajun returned from his scouting mission. His report made everyone nervous. 212 capital ships, he said. Each one is 3 times bigger than our largest battleship. They have weapons that can destroy a city with one shot. What about their defenses? General Sunmi asked. Energy shields that cover the entire ship. I watched them test their weapons on an asteroid. The asteroid just disappeared. Did they see you? Admiral Deho wanted to know. I do not think so, but they are very careful. They have scout ships everywhere. Getting close was almost impossible. Captain Hajun had taken pictures of the alien fleet. The ships looked like nothing humans had ever built. They were smooth and beautiful, but also clearly designed for war. There is something else, Hajun said. They are not in a hurry. They are taking their time like they are going on a vacation. They do not think this will be hard. Dr. Kyung-soo had been working on understanding the alien psychology. That might be our advantage. They have been winning for so long that they do not know how to handle real resistance. What do you mean? President Jian asked. Every species they have conquered gave up quickly. They have never had to fight a long, difficult war. They might not know how to do it. This gave Admiral Deho an idea. What if we make this take a long time? What if we make them work for every mile? Engineer Minji looked up from her weapons designs. The asteroid belt. We could use the asteroid belt. The asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter was full of rocks and ice. Most people thought it was empty space, but Minji had a different idea. We could hide weapons in the asteroids. Mines, railguns, missile launchers. Make the whole belt into a weapon. How long would that take? General Sunmi asked. If we start now and work fast, we could have basic defenses ready when they arrive. Nothing fancy, but enough to surprise them. Dr. Wu Jin liked this idea. Surprise is important. They think they know everything about us. If we can shock them early, it might change the whole battle. The plan started to come together. Instead of fighting one big battle, Earth would fight many small battles. Each one would be designed to hurt the aliens and make them angry. Angry enemies make mistakes. Captain Tae-hyung would command the main fleet, but he would not fight like the aliens expected. His ships would hit and run, never staying in one place long enough to be destroyed. Commander Yuna would lead the fighter squadrons. Her job was to get close to the big alien ships and attack their weak points. It was very dangerous, but it was the only way small ships could hurt big ones. Dr. Sora finished her work on Project Last Stand. She had created special weapons that looked like normal equipment, but were actually bombs. If the aliens tried to capture human technology, they would get a nasty surprise. How many people are we going to lose? President Jian asked the question everyone was thinking. Admiral Deho was quiet for a long time before answering. Too many. But if we do nothing, we lose everyone. At least this way, we have a chance. The president nodded sadly. Do whatever you have to do. Earth is depending on you. On the last day before the aliens arrived, Admiral Deho called all the ship captains together. He gave them a simple message. The aliens think this will be easy. They think we will surrender quickly like everyone else. They are wrong. We are going to show them what humans can do when they fight for their home. Remember, they had their warning. What happens next is their fault. Captain Hajun was sent out again to watch for the alien fleet. This time he was not alone. Hidden throughout the solar system, human ships waited in silence. The trap was set. All they had to do now was wait for the aliens to walk into it. War Commander Vexhai looked at the small blue planet on his screen and felt bored. This was his 24th conquest, and they were all the same. The local species would put up a small fight, realize they could not win, and surrender. Then his job would be done. How long until we reach their outer defenses? He asked his second-in-command. 6 hours, War Commander. Our scouts report some ships hiding in the asteroid belt, but nothing that could threaten us. Vexhai nodded. The humans had probably put their entire fleet in the asteroids, hoping to surprise the Vellani ships. It was a common tactic among primitive species. It never worked. Begin the standard approach. Send the fighters ahead to clear any mines. Follow with the main battle line. The Vellani fleet moved forward in perfect formation, 200 ships arranged in a pattern that had worked for 3,000 years. The smaller ships went first to find traps. The big ships stayed back where they were safe. Captain Hajun watched the alien fleet from his hiding place behind a large asteroid. The enemy ships were beautiful and terrifying. Their energy shields glowed softly as they moved through space. All units, this is Hajun. The aliens are coming. Wait for my signal. Hidden throughout the asteroid belt, 40 human ships waited in silence. They were small and fast, designed to hide rather than fight big battles. But today they had a different job. The first alien fighters entered the asteroid field. They moved slowly, scanning each rock for hidden weapons. They found the obvious traps right away, mines that were meant to be found, fake weapons that looked dangerous but were not real. The humans are more clever than most, one alien pilot reported. But these traps are still primitive. What the aliens did not know was that the real traps were the asteroids themselves. Engineer Minji had spent 3 weeks turning ordinary rocks into weapons. Some had railguns hidden inside. Others were filled with explosives. A few were actually human ships disguised to look like rocks. Now, Captain Hajun whispered into his radio. The asteroid belt exploded into action. Rocks that had been floating peacefully suddenly opened fire. Hidden railguns shot metal slugs at incredible speed. Disguised human ships dropped their fake covers and launched missiles. The alien fighters were caught completely by surprise. They had been looking for obvious weapons, not for the rocks themselves, to start shooting. In the first 30 seconds, 20 alien ships were destroyed. What is happening? War Commander Vexai demanded. The asteroids are armed, sir. The humans have turned the entire belt into a weapon. This had never happened before. The Villani had conquered many species, but none had ever thought to weaponize an entire area of space. It was creative and dangerous. Send in the heavy fighters. Clear the belt completely. More alien ships moved into the asteroids. This time they were ready for surprises. They fired at every rock that looked suspicious. But there were millions of asteroids, and the humans had been very careful about which ones to use. Captain Taehyung led his battle fleet in from the side. While the aliens were busy fighting the asteroids, the human ships attacked from an unexpected direction. The alien formation had to split up to defend against attacks from multiple directions. This is not standard tactics, Vexai said with surprise. They are supposed to meet us in open battle. His officers looked confused. Every species they had conquered had fought the same way. They put all their ships together and tried to fight a big space battle. It never worked because the Villani had more ships and better weapons, but the humans were not fighting a big space battle. They were fighting many small battles all at once. Human ships would appear, attack quickly, and then disappear before the aliens could respond. Commander Yuna led her fighter squadrons in suicide runs against the biggest alien ships. The Villani were shocked to see human pilots deliberately crashing their ships into enemy vessels. No species had ever been willing to sacrifice themselves like this. Why are they doing this? An alien captain asked. Do they not value their own lives? The aliens did not understand. In the Villani Empire, surrender was always an option. If a battle was going badly, you could give up and hope for mercy. But the humans knew there would be no mercy. This was a fight for the survival of their entire species. Dr. Minho had been listening to alien radio signals during the battle. He heard something interesting and told Admiral Daeho right away. They are scared, he reported. I can hear it in their voices. They keep asking their commanders what to do. They have never faced resistance like this. Admiral Daeho smiled grimly. Fear was a weapon too. Scared enemies made mistakes. The battle in the asteroid belt lasted for 8 hours. When it was over, the aliens had lost 37 ships. The humans had lost 23. But the important thing was not the numbers. They expected to lose 0 ships, Captain Hajun observed. Now they know this will not be easy. War Commander Vexai stared at his casualty reports in disbelief. 37 ships destroyed and many more damaged. The humans were supposed to be primitive. How had they hurt the Villani fleet so badly? Send a message to the humans, he ordered. Offer them one more chance to surrender. The message reached Admiral Daeho an hour later. Surrender now and we will be merciful. Continue fighting and we will destroy your entire planet. Admiral Daeho's response was simple. Come and try. The aliens regrouped and moved toward the inner solar system. But now they were being much more careful. They sent scouts ahead of every move. They scanned everything 3 times before approaching. The easy victory they had expected was becoming a difficult battle. How many more surprises do the humans have? Vexai wondered. He was about to find out. As the alien fleet approached Mars, they triggered the second part of the human defense plan. Hidden weapons platforms that had been floating in space for weeks suddenly activated. These platforms looked like space junk or broken satellites. The aliens had scanned them and decided they were harmless. But Dr. Sora had designed them to look harmless while hiding very powerful weapons. The platforms opened fire all at once. Energy beams and missiles came from every direction. The alien fleet found itself in the middle of another ambush. "How did we miss all these weapons?" an alien officer asked. "Because the humans are better at hiding things than we are at finding them," HFY answered. He was starting to respect his enemy, even though he did not want to. Captain Taehyung brought his fleet in for another hit-and-run attack. This time the human ships used a tactic they had learned from studying old Earth wars. They pretended to retreat, leading the aliens into a trap. The aliens followed, thinking they had the humans on the run. But when they reached Jupiter's orbit, they found another surprise waiting. The big planet's moons had been turned into weapons platforms. Giant railguns hidden on the moons opened fire on the alien fleet. "This entire solar system is a weapon," HFY realized. "Every planet, every moon, every asteroid. The humans have turned their home into a fortress." The alien fleet was now at 60% strength. They had started with 212 ships. Now they had only 127 that could still fight. The humans had lost half their fleet too, but they were fighting on their home ground. More importantly, the aliens were starting to doubt themselves. For 3,000 years they had been unstoppable. Now they were being hurt by a species they had thought was primitive. "Should we call for reinforcements?" one of his officers suggested. HFY was tempted, but he knew what that would mean. If he called for help, it would show that he could not handle one small planet. His reputation would be ruined. "No, we will finish this ourselves, but we will be more careful." As the alien fleet prepared to attack Earth directly, Admiral Daeho was ready with the final part of his plan. The real battle was about to begin. "All ships, this is Admiral Daeho. They have made it to Earth, but they paid a price to get here. Now we show them what happens when you threaten humanity's home." Earth hung in space like a blue jewel, but War Commander HFY no longer thought it looked peaceful. The planet was surrounded by defensive platforms, armed stations, and human ships ready to fight. After losing so many ships just getting here, he knew this would not be easy. "Begin orbital bombardment," he ordered. "Target their military installations first." The alien ships moved into position around Earth. Their powerful energy weapons charged up, ready to blast the planet from space. This was how they had conquered every other world. Destroy everything the enemy could use to fight back. But when the aliens opened fire, something unexpected happened. Earth's orbital defense grid activated at the same moment. Engineer Minji's modifications worked perfectly. Instead of just blocking the alien weapons, the human shield sent the energy back at the attacking ships. "Impossible," HFY whispered as he watched 3 of his ships get destroyed by their own reflected weapons. Their technology should not be able to do that. Dr. Wu Jin had spent months working on this surprise. The alien weapons were very powerful, but they followed predictable patterns. By studying captured alien technology, he had learned how to turn their strength against them. Admiral Daeho coordinated the Earth defense from Luna Command. "All stations maintain defensive fire. Do not let them get close to the planet." Captain Jiwon commanded one of the orbital defense platforms. Her job was to protect the space elevators that connected Earth to its orbital cities. The aliens were trying to cut Earth off from space. "Incoming missiles," her weapons officer reported. 60 targets closing fast. "Fire everything," Jiwon ordered. The defense platform's guns opened fire in all directions. Most of the alien missiles were destroyed, but a few got through. The platform shook as explosions hit its hull. "Damage report," Jiwon called out. "Hull breach on Deck 7. Weapons Platform 3 is offline, but we are still fighting." All around Earth, similar battles were happening. The aliens had the advantage of numbers, but the humans had the advantage of defending their home. Every human knew that losing meant the end of their civilization. General Sunmi watched the battle from the command center deep underground. Her job was to coordinate all of Earth's defenses. The orbital battle was just the beginning. "How long can the orbital platforms hold?" she asked. "Maybe 6 hours," Admiral Daeho answered. "After that, we will have to rely on the planetary defenses." Fleet Captain Taehyung led the remaining human ships in desperate attacks against the alien fleet. His forces were outnumbered 3-1, but they were fighting with the fury of people defending their families. This is Taehyung to all ships. Do not try to fight them directly. Hit and run just like we practiced. Make every shot count. The human ships darted between the much larger alien vessels like angry insects. They could not destroy the big ships easily, but they could damage important systems. Engine systems, weapon systems, communications. Every little bit of damage made the aliens weaker. Dr. Sora watched the battle from her laboratory. She had one more surprise ready for the aliens. All during the fighting, she had been broadcasting on every frequency the aliens used for communication. The broadcasts were not military information. They were something much more dangerous to an empire that relied on fear and respect. Dr. Sora was showing the aliens videos of human history. The aliens saw films of World War II, where humans fought against impossible odds and won. They saw the story of tiny countries defeating giant empires. They saw humans who chose to die rather than surrender their freedom. Turn off these broadcasts, Vex-High ordered, but his communications officer shook his head. We cannot, War Commander. They are coming from everywhere at once. The humans have flooded our channels. The videos were having an effect on the alien crews. The Villani Empire worked because everyone believed the Empire could not be defeated. But here were humans who had defeated empires before. Here were people who treated impossible odds as just another challenge. Captain Ha-Jun led his stealth ships in attacks on the alien command vessels. His mission was to disrupt their communications and make it hard for them to coordinate their attacks. Remember, we are not trying to destroy these ships, he told his pilots. We are trying to make them confused and angry. The stealth ships attacked the alien communication arrays and then disappeared before the aliens could respond. Soon the alien fleet was having trouble talking to each other. War Commander Vex-High found himself fighting a kind of war he had never experienced. Every time he gave an order, the humans found a way to make it harder to carry out. Every time his ships moved into position, human ships attacked from unexpected directions. These humans fight like they have been studying war for their entire history, he told his officers. That is because they have. Dr. Kyung-Soo's intelligence had discovered this and shared it with the human commanders. Humans have been fighting each other for thousands of years. Every tactic the aliens use, humans have seen before. The orbital battle reached its peak when Commander Yuna led her fighters in a massive attack on the alien flagship. She knew it was probably a suicide mission, but if they could damage the enemy command ship, it might disrupt the entire alien fleet. All fighters, this is Yuna. Follow me in. Target the command tower and the communication arrays. Make this count. 50 human fighters dove toward the massive alien ship. The enemy defenses were incredibly strong. Most of the human fighters were destroyed before they reached their target. But a few got through. Yuna's fighter was badly damaged, but she managed to crash it into the alien ship's main communication array. The explosion knocked out the flagship's ability to coordinate the rest of the fleet. Yuna, report. Admiral Daeho called on the radio. There was no answer. War Commander Vex-High watched his communication systems go dark. Without the ability to coordinate his ships, the attack on Earth became much more difficult. He had to rely on each ship captain to make their own decisions. This was another thing the aliens were not used to. In the Villani Empire, everything was controlled from the top. Ship captains followed orders but did not think for themselves. The humans had just taken away the aliens' biggest advantage. War Commander, we are receiving a message from the human commander, his communications officer reported. Admiral Daeho's voice came through the static. This is Admiral Daeho of Earth Defense Command. You have lost 40% of your fleet trying to take one planet. How many more ships are you willing to lose? Vex-High looked around his damaged command center. The Admiral was right. The Villani fleet now had fewer than 70 ships that could still fight effectively. They had started with over 200. Your planet will fall, he sent back. It is only a matter of time. Maybe, Admiral Daeho replied. But you will not be alive to see it. Neither will most of your fleet. The battle continued for 12 more hours. Slowly, the alien ships fought their way through Earth's orbital defenses. The human platforms were destroyed one by one. But each platform that fell took alien ships with it. Finally, War Commander Vex-High achieved orbital control of Earth. His remaining ships could now bombard the planet directly. But the cost had been terrible. He had fewer than 50 ships left, and most of those were damaged. Begin bombardment of the major cities, he ordered. Maybe now they will surrender. But as the alien weapons targeted Earth cities, something new happened. Giant guns hidden on the planet's surface opened fire. Dr. Wu Jin had spent years building planetary defense cannons that could fire into space. The surface guns were not as powerful as the orbital platforms, but there were hundreds of them. And they were much harder to destroy because they were protected by the atmosphere and hidden underground. How many weapons do these humans have? Vexhai asked in frustration. The answer was simple. Humans had been preparing for war against other humans for centuries. Every weapon system, every defense, every tactic had been designed to fight against an enemy that was just as smart and determined as they were. The aliens had superior technology, but they had never fought against an enemy that treated war as an art form. As night fell on Earth, the battle was still raging. The aliens controlled space around the planet, but they had paid a terrible price. And the humans were still fighting. Vexhai sent a message to the Vellani Empire. Request immediate reinforcements. The humans are proving more difficult than expected. Supreme Admiral Korthves stared at War Commander Vexhai's message with disbelief. In 3,000 years of conquest, no Vellani commander had ever asked for reinforcements to defeat a single planet. This was embarrassing for the entire empire. Prepare the Grand Armada, he ordered his staff. 500 ships. We will end this quickly and make an example that the entire galaxy will remember. The Grand Armada was the Vellani Empire's most powerful fleet. It had conquered entire star systems without losing a single ship. Supreme Admiral Korthves had never personally led it into battle because nothing had ever required that much force. Back at Earth, Admiral Deho received intelligence about the approaching fleet from Captain Hajun's scouts. The news was worse than anyone had imagined. 500 ships, he reported to the Emergency Council. The biggest fleet the Vellani have ever assembled. President Jiyon looked around the room at the tired faces of Earth's defenders. How many ships do we have left? 18 that can still fight, General Sunmi answered. Maybe 30 if we count the damaged ones. The numbers were impossible. Even after everything they had accomplished, Earth still faced an enemy with overwhelming advantages. But no one in the room suggested surrender. We warned them, Admiral Deho said quietly. We told them humanity was lethal. They should have listened. Dr. Kyungsoo had been studying the psychological profiles of the Vellani leadership. This Supreme Admiral has never lost a battle. His reputation depends on crushing us completely. Then we will have to disappoint him, Captain Taehyung said. Dr. Sora had been working on one final project. I have an idea, but it is very dangerous. She explained her plan to the room. It was risky and would require perfect timing, but it might be their only chance against such a large fleet. Do it, President Jiyon ordered. We have come this far. We are not going to give up now. When the Grand Armada arrived at the edge of the solar system, Supreme Admiral Korthves was shocked by what he saw. The wreckage of 200 Vellani ships floated in space. War Commander Vexhai's fleet had been almost completely destroyed. How is this possible? He demanded. The human Supreme Admiral. They fight like nothing we have ever encountered. Korthves looked at the small blue planet that had caused so much trouble. Show me their remaining forces. The tactical display showed 18 human ships hiding near Earth. Against 500 Vellani vessels, they looked pathetically small. This will be over quickly, the Supreme Admiral decided. All ships advance to Earth, destroy everything. But as the Grand Armada moved forward, Captain Hajun implemented the final phase of Dr. Sora's plan. Throughout the solar system, pieces of wreckage that the aliens thought was debris suddenly activated. The wreckage was actually hundreds of small human ships, disguised to look destroyed. Dr. Sora had spent weeks teaching human pilots how to make their ships look like floating junk while keeping all their weapons working. Operation Prometheus is active, Hajun announced. All hidden units, you are free to engage. The Grand Armada suddenly found itself under attack from every direction. Ships they thought were dead opened fire. Asteroids they had ignored turned out to be weapons platforms. Even some of the Vellani wreckage had been captured and turned into human weapons. Impossible, Supreme Admiral Korthves said as his fleet took heavy damage from enemies that should not exist. We scanned all that debris. The humans are masters of deception, his tactical officer reported. They have turned our own destroyed ships against us. Captain Taehyung led the 18 remaining human ships in a desperate charge toward the center of the alien fleet. It looked like a suicide attack, but it was actually cover for something more important. Dr. Minho had discovered the frequency the aliens used to coordinate their entire fleet. While Taehyung's ships distracted the enemy, human technicians broadcast a virus into the alien communication system. The virus was simple but effective. It made every alien ship think it was receiving orders to attack the ship next to it. Within minutes, the perfectly organized Grand Armada was shooting at itself. "Cut all communications," Supreme Admiral Korthves ordered, but it was too late. The virus had already spread through the entire fleet. Engineer Minji watched from her orbital platform as the alien fleet tore itself apart. The aliens have been winning for so long they forgot that their enemies might be smart too. The battle became a nightmare for the Villani forces. They could not tell which ships were human and which were their own. Every time they tried to reform their attack, human ships would appear from unexpected places and disrupt their formation. Commander Yuna, who had survived her fighter crash and was now commanding a captured alien vessel, led a group of disguised ships right into the heart of the enemy fleet. The aliens never suspected that some of their own ships had been taken over by humans. "This is insane," one alien captain reported. "We are being attacked by our own ships." Supreme Admiral Korthves realized that he was fighting an enemy unlike any the Villani had ever faced. These humans did not just fight with weapons. They fought with their minds, turning every advantage against itself. "How many ships have we lost?" he asked. "Over 200, Supreme Admiral, and the humans seem to be getting stronger, not weaker." This was true. Every alien ship the humans captured gave them better weapons and stronger shields. The longer the battle lasted, the more dangerous the humans became. Admiral Daeho coordinated the final phase of the battle from Luna Command. "All units, the aliens are breaking. Push them back to the edge of the system." The remaining Villani ships tried to retreat, but the humans would not let them go easily. Captain Hajun's stealth ships harassed them every step of the way. Dr. Wujin's hidden weapons platforms fired on them as they fled. Supreme Admiral Korthves found himself in full retreat, with fewer than 100 ships remaining. The Grand Armada, which had never been defeated, was running away from a single planet. "Send a message to the Villani High Council," he ordered. "Earth is unsuitable for conquest. The humans are too dangerous." Admiral Daeho received the alien surrender message with grim satisfaction. "Tell them they should have listened to our warning." The final message Earth sent to the retreating aliens was broadcast across the entire galaxy. "Earth gave you one warning. We told you humanity was lethal. Next time, listen." The Battle of Earth was over, but its effects spread across the galaxy like ripples in water. Species that had been conquered by the Villani learned that the Empire could be defeated. Rebellion broke out on dozens of worlds. Dr. Minho intercepted communications from all over Villani space. "They are asking about us," he reported. "Everyone wants to know who the humans are and how to contact them." 6 months later, Captain Jiwon received Earth's first diplomatic mission from another species. The Cathera Republic had broken free from Villani control and wanted to form an alliance with humanity. "We heard what you did to the Villani," their ambassador said. "We would like to be your friends, not your enemies." President Jian welcomed the alien diplomats with a simple message. "Humanity does not want to conquer anyone. We just want to be left alone. But if someone threatens us or our friends, they will learn why we gave the Villani a warning." The Villani Empire, which had ruled for 3,000 years, began to crumble. Their reputation for being unbeatable was destroyed. Other species no longer feared them, and in a small solar system around a yellow star, the humans went back to their normal lives. But now the galaxy knew their name. When humans gave a warning, smart people listened. The war was over, but humanity's reputation was just beginning. They had proven that sometimes the best way to keep peace was to be too dangerous to attack. War Commander Vex High, the few survivors of his fleet, and Supreme Admiral Korthves all carried the same message back to Villani space. "Do not fight the humans. They are not suitable for conquest. They are lethal."